各位朋友们好。
Hello friends.
纵观人类历史，几
Over
千年
thousands
的
of years
长
in human
河，王
history,
朝的兴衰更
dynasty
替，
have
似乎
risen
呢
and
总
fallen.
是与
This
他们这个
often linked
祖先的
closely
皇
to
陵，
their
也
ancestral
就是
imperial
坟陵
tombs,
的风水有
the
着
Feng Shui of the
密切的
various
关系。
sites.
皇陵陵寝
Imperial
呢，不
tombs
仅仅是这
aren't
个
just
帝王
the
生活的
final
归
resting
宿之
place
地，
for emperor.
还更视为呢，
They
它
are
关系
also
到皇
seen
族王朝
as
的
vital
气
to the
数、
fate
运
and
气
fortune
以
of
及
the
传承
royal
了多少
lineage
代，有着
and how many
必然的关
generations
系。
they remain in power.
至少他们是这么理解的。
This connection is
那是不
believed
是
to
这
be
样呢？
essential.
我慢慢
At
看。
least that's how they
在
understood
中
it.
国古代，
But is it true?
皇帝
Let's
对
take a
这个
closer
陵
look.
寝它的
Ancient
重视
Chinese
度
emperor
接近于
valued
对
tombs
皇宫这个
almost as much
选择
as
地点呐，或
palace
建造形
location
状啊，
and
几
design.
乎有同等的级别。
The level of
的重视度。
importance is
从
nearly
汉代
equal
以来呢，
since the
就
Han
是有
Dynasty.
一个说法叫
There is
视
a
死
saying
如视生。
to treat death as if
就
still
是说
alive.
他死了之
It
后，
means
他
after
所过的
death,
这个生活居住的环
one's
境，
life
甚
home,
至是保镖、侍
even
卫、
guards
军
and
队
soldiers
等等的，就像活着一样。
are maintained just like when they were
你
alive.
比如说秦始皇，
That's the idea. For example, Qin Shi Huang terracotta army contained countless lifelike young
每
soldiers,
个脸都不一样，
each with a
所以
unique
这
face.
说明
This
皇
shows
帝
the
对
emperor's
这个
great care
死
in
亡
creating
之
each
后的
ceramic
他的一
soldier
公一
after
仆
death.
的这种
He spent
陶瓷的制
immense
作来说
effort and cost
都
on
花了大
this.
的心血，花了大的价钱。
This reveals how seriously it
由
was
此可见
regarded.
一般的重视度。今天咱们就
Today, we'll journey
跨越
through the
历史的
river
长
of
河，
history.
在一个大时空的视角
From a
下，
broad time-space
咱们看一下这个
perspective,
大
we'll
明
explore
王朝
the
的
rise
兴
and
衰
fall of the
与
Ming
皇陵风
Dynasty
水的
and
细节
compare
对
it
照，
with the detail of
咱
the
们就会
Imperial
发现
tombs
哈，
Feng Shui.
其中有着
We'll
非
find
常
there's a
神
very
秘的联
mysterious
系。
connection
先
between
从
them.
明朝的
Let's
这
start
个开国皇
with
帝
Zhu
朱元
Yuanzhang,
璋
the
说起
Ming
吧。
Dynasty's founding
朱元璋
emperor.
原
Zhu
名叫
Yuanzhang
朱
was
重八，
originally
因为
named
过
Zhu
去很多
Chongba.
人
In the
这个没
past,
没有
many
文化，一
peasants
生一
were
堆孩子，
uneducated. They
他
had
的
many
弟弟，
children.
哎，是
They
吧？
named
朱
them
重
by
一、
birth
朱重
order.
二、朱重
朱
三，皇
Chong
族
Yi,
正
which
式
is number
啊，
1,
等
Zhu
等这
Chong
些，差不多是这
2,
个意
Zhu
思。
Chong
还
San
有一
3,
个
and
数
so
字，
on.
或者
It
家
was
庭
roughly
排
like
行老
this.
或者叔伯兄弟排
The
行老
number indicate
他
birth
们这
rank
个
or
家庭
position
呢，
among
啊，
the
世
uncles
代
and
呢就
brothers.
是佃农。
His family were
所谓的
tenant
佃农呢，
farmers for
就是没有
generation.
自己的土
Tenant
地，
farmers had no
他专
land
门
of
为
their
有
own.
土地的人
They
去
farmed the
种地，
land of those
种
who
庄
owned
稼。
it.
但没有土地的
But
人是
without
比较贫
land,
穷的。所以
they
他
were
给人家
quite
种地，
poor.
地主可能
Even
自
though
己
they
不种
farm,
地，但是他
landlord
比
might
地
not
主
farm
穷，这是
themselves.
意思。那么在这个少
Still,
年时的这个朱
tenants
元
were
璋啊，
poorer
这
than
个时候
landlord.
啊，他不
In
是
Zhu
上学
Yuanzhang's
堂了
youth,
啊，
he
不像
wasn't
你这么穷
attending
呢，
school.
虽
His
然也不
family
需
was
要
too
考虑
poor,
上学的问
so
题，
schooling
但
wasn't
他
even
会有上
considered.
学的压力，
Without
所以
school
呢就给这
pressure,
个地主放牛。
he herd cattle for landlord.
他是一个很特别的孩
He was
子，
a unique
你
child.
看家里穷成
His
这个样
family
子
was
啊，
very
一分土地
poor,
没有，
without
可是
any
呢，
land.
他挺能交接
Yet
小
he
朋友。
was good at making
说这个
friends.
村里头
He
邻村
played
的
with
孩子们
kids
哈，
from
这
his
男孩们
village
都
and
谈一
nearby
片都是亲
villages.
哥们儿、好朋友，哎，
They were
很好
all
玩儿。
close friends,
有
which
一
was
种巧
fun.
合呢，
By
他
coincidence,
经常带着一
he
群孩
often
子
led
们
a group
进
of
行这
kids
个像军事的
in
这种演
military
示，
style
总是
drills.
把这些男孩子们分
He would
成这
split
个你
them
是
up,
大将军，你
saying
是
you are the
大元
general,
帅
you're the
啊，等
marshal.
等的，就分出
It
好
was
像
like
大
a
元帅
marshal
和皇帝
assigning
对
roles,
人
like
员
an
的这些
emperor
分工
would.
安排。那么他对这些其他孩
He
子
was
呢，也
loyal
多讲义气，
and
他也
protective
天
of
生有
other
领导力
kids.
啊。比如说有一次
He
吧，
was a natural
哎，
leader.
也就是后来跟他
A future
闯天下
general
的一位大
named
将军叫汤和。
Tang He would
这
later
个
join him
汤
in
和呢，当
adventures.
时就是他村里的
This
玩
is
伴
about Tang
小
He.
朋友。
He's a
可是这
village
个
playmate,
汤和呢，
a
有一
kid.
天呢，
One
就
day,
是
Tang He
病了，
felt
这
ill.
穷人家的孩子病了，
As
只有
he
病了
was
的时
from a
候，
poor
家
family,
长想方设法
his
给他
parents
做点好
would
吃。
only cook good food
哎，
when
朱
he
元璋
was
知道
sick.
说汤和
So
病
Zhu
了，
Yuanzhang heard
那
Tang
么
He
我也
was
去表示一
sick.
下，给你弄点什
He
么好吃
wanted
的。
to show he cared,
哎，结果找了半天
so
没
he
有，
looked for
他不
some
是给
good
地主
food,
家放几头
but
牛
couldn't
吗？
find any. money. He was watching the landlord's cattle, so he chose the smallest cow, slaughtered it, and cooked meat for Tang He. Tang He and the kids were thrilled. saying being with our emperor, even as farm kids, means we get meat. It was also quite fun. That night, the landlord saw a cow missing and asked, "Where's the cow?" They said the cow went into the mountain. How could a cow go into the mountain? In a ravine. You took me to look at it. So they found a cow's tail sticking out of a big rock. Pull it. And only one tail remained. What happened? He said the cow crawled in there. Actually, he ate the cow. He hid the cow's tail then to trick the landlord. But the landlord wasn't easily fooled. He beat him badly and forbade him from grazing cows. If allowed again, there's no cows for the year end. It caused trouble. The child was too naughty. His parents were scared and apologized. They said, "If you do this again, we'll lose our job." The whole family was starved. You must never cause such trouble again. So when Zhu Yuanzhang was young, he often acted like a little leader. He was born with a strong leadership aura. Look, just over a decade later, it was during China's Yuan Dynasty period. The nation was in chaos. Disasters were widespread and severe. People suffered and struggled to survive. He later joined the rebellion. The uprising succeeded and unified the country. The Ming Dynasty was established. She became the ruler of the Ming Dynasty. Zhu Yuanzhang came from a poor farming family. As a child, he begged after his family fell apart. He rose to the turmoil. In 1368, he founded the Ming Dynasty, becoming its first emperor. He rose from commoner to supreme ruler. When Zhu Yuanzhang fought for power, many joined him from different forces. Some saw his growing strength. Others knew he was really skilled. His soldiers all admired him because he was loyal. He shared all earnings with them. One day, a very capable man appeared. They all knew a strategist from Jiangnan, a wise and clever man. He understood everything from astronomy in the sky to geography on land. In ancient times, they were called diviners. Diviners senses and communicate with heaven. If someone faced a problem, he will calculate it. Like when a cow lost or wandered off, they were like Frankfurt with supernatural power and mystery. One such man was Liu Bowen. Many have heard of Liu Bowen's name. He is famous for his allegorical work, like the Xiaoping song. This poem was written by him. This was after the Ming Dynasty was established. Zhu Yuanzhang was already emperor. One day, his empress, Empress Ma, the main wife, said to him, "O Zhu, as we slowly age, important officials remind us that for past emperors, once they are older, they need to quickly choose a tomb site, as building these tombs takes years. It's a time-consuming huge project. We haven't even picked a place or even thought about it at all." But old Zhu said, "It's too soon. We just founded the empire. And I'm just become an emperor. Why should we build tombs now? No, the first site may not be good. Besides, the construction of a tomb takes years to complete, at least 5 years, you know. So it is better to start early." So Zhu Yuanzhang was a fierce man. He listened to no one and is quite unwavering. I truly admire his wife, Empress Ma. Then he said, "I feel the same. I'll arrange it in due time." So one day he was in a good mood. So he summoned Liu Bowen. Liu Bowen came quickly once ordered. When Liu Bowen arrived outside the palace, the guards reported in. Liu Bowen waited for the imperial order nearby. He only dared enter when summoned. At this moment, a servant brought Zhu Yuanzhang a plate of baked flat bread, which is xiaoping. He said, "Let me divine for him." They said, "Oh, Liu is quite special. Many rumors surrounded him. His Feng Shui and fortune telling are accurate. I'll test him." So he grabbed the flat bread and took a bite. The bread is round, sprinkled with sesame. Then he took a bowl and covered the plate. Now you can't see it. The bowl is ceramic, opaque. After Liu Bowen came in, he said he knew he was clever. He heard many praise about him, saying how amazing he is. So today, I won't test you, but make a guess what's under the bowl. So Liu Bowen was so scared, he broke into a cold sweat. He said, if I guess correct, you'll be fine. But if I didn't guess correctly, I won't eat tonight. The head will be chopped off. As Zhu Yuanzhang was ruthless in killing too. 5 minutes later, he said, I think this thing is vague. But when looked closely, it looks like the sun and moon, round, and has a bite mark from a dragon. Zhu Yuanzhang thought, dragon? I'm a dragon. All right. So Zhu Yuanzhang was pleased. He opened the bowl, and sure enough, the flatbread had a bite mark. He was witty, saying bitten by a dragon. Wow, he said, not bad, oh Liu. Your skills aren't just empty talk. All right, great. Tell me more. I'll reward you with 2 flatbreads, okay? If you feel an omen, answer me 2 things. How do you see the fate of our Ming Dynasty? How many years can it still thrive? Liu Bowen heard this and panicked. He didn't know what the emperor wanted to hear. So Liu Bowen thought, this is too hard. If he said something wrong, he'll lose his life and dinner for sure. So he just shook his head, too scared to speak. Old Zhu understood. It was tough. Feared the emperor's anger, he said, I asked you, but feel free to answer. No worries, I won't blame you if you're wrong. Several people vouch for you. I promise no anger from me, and no trouble for this later. Consider the whole Ming Dynasty. I only ask because I'm concerned. Looking at history dynasties, some dynasties lasted only 3 to 5 years. Some emperors were killed right after taking the throne. It happened. I understand that. Just be honest and say what you know. I promise nothing will happen. I'm not that narrow-minded. After Zhu Yuanzhang said this, Liu Bowen closed his eyes and focused deeply. He calmed down and began to calculate carefully. After several hours, he spoke. The dynasty will last 600 and some years. It ended when fortune turned against it. So Zhu Yuanzhang laughed and said, great, 600 and some? It's about 650 years. Great, it sounds nice. Sorry, Your Majesty, I didn't say it lasted 10,000 years. I know Chinese history well. Almost none lasted over 500 years. This is already quite good. Over 600 years is great. I'm satisfied. Nothing more to say. It's excellent. I said my surname is Zhu. Simple, right? The stroke 1 to 6 stands for 600 years. 6 strokes, 600 years. Someone claimed not to know. How can they not know? So Liu Bowen said, I'm not making this up. It's not from my own thought. It comes from a divine revelation. I'm just a messenger. After Zhu Yuanzhang spoke to Liu Bowen, he felt pleased and at ease. Our Ming Dynasty lasted over 600 years, which is quite good. Our ancestors were virtuous. Heavens watched up over us. There were also warning given. Look, I was a tenant farmer, not even a real peasant, the poorest with no land. Now I'm emperor, and my wife is empress. Several officials say we should honor our late parents with titles. This is right. It's royal protocol for emperors. We must follow it. Following it benefits the entire Ming Dynasty. So, per officials' advice, we should return to our ancestral home in Anhui. Start selecting the site for the graves for his parents. The process needs to begin soon. When Zhu Yuanzhang was 16, his hometown Anhui suffered a massive historic plague. First, locust, then plague follows. Sadly, his parents and a brother all passed away. There was no burial place after they died because they owned no land. So Zhu Yuanzhang and family approached the landlord where his parents worked. This landlord was named Liu De. They asked if Liu De could help. Given my parents served you for years for the sake of the long-term workers' dignity, they had already passed away. Could we borrow your land to bury them? Liu De said, I work hard for this land. No, I won't lend it. If you don't leave, I'll hit you. During this dispute, many neighbors and villagers gathered around. One villager named Liu Jizu stepped forward. Liu Jizu saw how pitiful the child was. Two elders, the parents were dead. The elder brother too. How could this child solve this problem? They need a proper burial. You can't leave 3 bodies lying there. Besides, many villagers died, not just the parents. Others died too. The epidemic was severe. Many lost their lives. In such a crisis, everyone should help and support each other. That's right. Any family could face this. Don't you agree? So it was agreed. Our family has an unused slope. It's not planted with anything. So your parents and older brother could be buried there. I'll lend it to you. Just bury them there. Don't worry too much or feel too sad. Come, let's cook a meal at home. We should give them a proper farewell. But the next day, when they prepared to bury him, he asked people to help carry the 3 bodies. As they climbed the small hill, suddenly, heaven showed mercy. Wind and rain poured down. Lightning flashed repeatedly. A fierce storm burst out at once. Those carrying the bodies for burial were struck by heavy rain like hail. The storm forces them to run away. After a few hours, a flash flood occurred. The rain was extremely heavy. It caused flash flood and mudslide. They placed 3 bodies on the hillside and left. After several hours, the flash flood naturally buried the 3 bodies. So, when the flood struck, it likely triggered mud and debris flow. Soil, rock, and sand rolled together, possibly burying them deeply. It covered a wide area, not just a small spot. We don't know the exact location of the parents. They become sky burials. Since they were already buried, and the land didn't belong to their family, Liu Jizu said, forget it, let it be. Heaven has buried your parents and brother. So no need to look further. At that time, they were poor, the child was young, and there was no other choice, so this was the only option. Later, after Zhu Yuanzhang became emperor, Feng Shui masters came to inspect the place. They said no need to search more. This is the best dragon vein, dragon cave, a Feng Shui treasured land. This is quite rare to see. Behind us, mountains stretch out, powerful and vast. To the north, there's a tall mountain. It looks like the back of a grand chair, protecting this place gently. This tomb and site here. So, in front flows a river called Jade Belt, energy circles gathering and sheltering the wind. After natural disaster shaped the land, this place and its dragon vein become fully formed naturally. So later on, right there on this original spot, a tomb was built named Ming Emperor Mausoleum because it housed past emperors. The first emperor's parents were definitely not emperors, but by ancestors' rule then, even if the parents weren't emperor, they were posthumously titled emperors after death. So their tomb should match those of emperor and empress. That's the idea. So today in Feng Anhui, that's the Ming Emperor tomb site. So Zhu Yuanzhang's parents were granted by heaven this royal tomb, a blessed site, a prime Feng Shui location, where the dragon vein first began. Now, back to Zhu Yuanzhang himself. Court official and Feng Shui master advised he must choose his own future resting place. Where should one be buried after 100 years? Because the burial site will affect the fortune of your royal legacy. So the empire's future relies on it, so you must choose one early. Picking the best site is crucial. Alright, go and find one. So the Feng Shui master searched widely. In the end, they found a place closest to Nanjing city. It's called Purple Mountain, later named Ming Xiaoling. Zhu Yuanzhang was buried there.
Ming Xiaoling
is the joint tomb of Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang and Empress Ma, located on Purple Mountain, east of Nanjing City. Hello, Grandmaster. Is the Feng Shui of Zhu Yuanzhang's Ming Xiaoling tomb good? That's a tough question. It's not bad, but it depends on the perspective. I haven't visited the site in person, but I researched it extensively online and on maps. Afterward, I found it less favorable. Why less favorable? This tomb and mountain area is simply too small in size, so that issue arises from small area. The layout is cramped. Secondly, since this is the emperor's tomb, it must hold emperors of all generations. After founding the Ming Dynasty, he chose a small valley for burial. This makes the space very cramped for his descendants' tombs later. Also, the Feng Shui is affected by Meishan Mountain in front. Instead of an open land, Meishan blocks the wind and qi ahead. I think this is unfavorable. That's a problem. So what's the next issue? This place is right in the Three Kingdoms territory, in the story of the Three Kingdoms. This is the tomb of Sun Quan, the great emperor of Eastern Wu. There is a folk saying called two kings should not meet. When two kings meet, both being dead emperor, their spirit clash fiercely. This causes conflict and strife, so the tension can't be contained. The energy is disrupted. This tomb's Feng Shui affects Zhu Yuanzhang's descendants. It's very dangerous. I'm analyzing the terrain. Sun Quan's tomb is much older. By how many years? Over 1,000 years. It's well before Zhu's tomb, but Zhu Yuanzhang's tomb was built later. So it faces Sun Quan's past. Sun Quan's tombs block it, creating a crashing energy. This forms a harmful energy pattern. Therefore, this threatens his descendants. They risk harm or sudden death. Or directly, even if it means breaking this legacy. In reality, he planned to pass the throne to his eldest son, Zhu Biao. But Zhu Biao died young. He was a good man, smart and capable, very effective. So he mistakenly passed the throne to Zhu Biao's son, Zhu Yunwen. After Zhu Yunwen became emperor, he clashed with Zhu Yuanzhang's other sons, leading to power struggles. So Zhu Yunwen eliminated many rivals. These princes were uncles of the emperor. So Zhu Yuanzhang's fourth son, called Zhu Di, only the emperor's son will make prince. So this Zhu Di was granted land in Beijing, then called the Yan Kingdom. He ruled as Prince of Yan. So Zhu Yinwen, the grandson, after eliminating Zhu Yuanzhang's other son, then moved to defeat Prince Zhu Di. Zhu Di then rebelled. He refused to be eliminated or killed. He openly opposed and fought back. So Zhu Di won the battle in the end. Zhu Yinwen may have started a great fire. He likely died in the palace fire. This caused major trouble for the imperial succession. It was a serious issue, but not the worst. The Ming Dynasty still continued after that. However, Sun Quan's tomb obstructed the way ahead. Because of this, his rule almost came to an end. That's how it was. So Zhu Di, Zhu Yuanzhang's fourth son, successfully rebelled, eliminating his nephew, Zhu Yinwen. He ascended the throne in Nanjing. Soon after, he planned to move the capital to Beijing. Beijing was then likely called Beiping. Zhu Di was a scholar, a genius, an emperor material. After becoming Prince of Yan, he privately sought experts to study astronomy and occult arts, fate science, and the nation's destiny. He hired many skilled diviners, experts, with precise calculation. They were especially accurate. The most powerful person was a monk named Yao Guangxiao. Yao Guangxiao gave him many ideas. Becoming emperor was all thanks to Yao. He was mastermind behind the scene. Yao saw that Zhu Di was the true dragon emperor. Without Yao, Zhu Di might not have rebelled. He might have been eradicated. History would have been rewritten. So Zhu Di had a group of talented followers, those who understand Feng Shui and national-level dragon veins, like Yao Guangxiao and other masters, would often give him some recommendation. The true major dragon vein of China lies in Beijing. In Feng Shui, dragon veins refers to continuous mountain ranges, symbolizing the earth's energy and vitality. Dragon veins influence dynasty and descendants' fate. Long winding mountains represent lasting wealth and honor. Since ancient time, China's main dragon vein is said to start from Kunlun Mountain, running through the entire country by its mountain range. It's believed to affect the nation's fortune, the Feng Shui foundation tied to cultural context. So Beijing sits at the end of this mountain range. Behind it, the mountains link continuously to the Qingling Range. Going northwards, they connect to the Great Kunlun Mountain. Thus, this palace was built atop this major dragon vein. It served as the supreme control point for unifying China. This was the peak of political power. This control point is now the Ming Dynasty's Forbidden City in Beijing. It was the Imperial Palace then, and remains near Beijing today. This site is ideal for the Ming Dynasty royal tombs. It's what we now call the Ming tombs. This is the Great Dragon Vein. How is the Feng Shui of the Ming tombs? The Ming tombs are truly magical. To the north lies Tianshou Mountain, like a dragon embracing mountain. and forests surround it on the east and west side. This formed the so-called left a jewelry dragon and right white tiger layout. In Chinese Feng Shui, it's like a house, just like our homes. The most traditional rule is to face south, sit north. The front opening is quite large. A babbling stream flows through it, winding like a jade bell. Interestingly, 13 emperors are buried here. Why only 13 emperors are buried in the Ming tombs? What about the other 3? After Zhu Yuanzhang died, his tomb was built at Ming Xiaoling in Nanjing. That's one tomb. So the second emperor was Zhu Yuanzhang's grandson, Zhu Yunwen. So after fighting his uncle Zhu Di, his fate remained unknown. Some say he fled. Others say he was burned alive in a palace. This mystery remains unsolved. So, there is none, because his death was uncertain. No tomb was built for him. But this emperor does exist in history. He ruled for 4 to 5 years. So this is an emperor without a tomb. There's another emperor without a tomb. He is the Jingtai emperor, Zhu Qiyu. The Jingtai emperor, Zhu Qiyu, had a special status as emperor. The true emperor was his brother, named Zhu Qizhen. Zhu Qizhen made a mistaken military move at that time. The soldiers went to fight the northern Yuan. They got surrounded at a place called Tumu Fortress. That place was Tumu Fortress. The Ming Emperor led 200,000 troops. But they were all defeated, so Emperor Zhu Qizhen was captured. He became a prisoner. Officials in Beijing said, a country cannot be without a ruler for a day. So our emperor was once taken captivity. It was uncertain if he would return alive. Now a prisoner, nobody knew what would happen. So following history rules, they chose Zhu Qiyu, Zhu Qizhen's brother, as the next temporary emperor. But the elder brother, Zhu Qizhen, returned, regaining the throne. So since his brother had harmed him, he stripped Zhu Qiyu of his emperor status, reducing him to a commoner. So when his brother died, he was barred from the imperial tombs and could not be buried with the rights of an emperor. So he had the title, but not the tomb. He was an emperor without a tomb. There was a younger brother, Zhu Qiyu. So there were 16 emperors, but only 14 tombs. That's the reason. Since Zhu Di found such a good site, could the Ming Dynasty last forever? Emperors sought Feng Shui dragon veins, hoping to rule for generations. But that's impossible. Even emperor understood this. Lasting several generations is good enough. If a dynasty lasted 200 years, it was considered great. But at the site Zhu Di chose, the Ming 13 tombs, it was a very unique place. Within that dragon vein, it could not hold 13 emperors. So the 13th emperor was buried just outside the area, beyond our palm. Because there were only 12 dragon veins inside. But the 16th Ming Emperor, Chongzhen, on a Feng Shui master's advice, the Ming 13 tombs, then unnamed, were just the Ming Dynasty burial ground. Now the 13 tombs, the dragon veins inside were all occupied. The emperor said, let's find another place to form a new dragon vein. So he asked an expert to find it quickly. A powerful master appeared. He was said to be Liu Kongzao, descendants of Liu Bowen. He searched everywhere. He found a good dragon vein in Zunhua area of Hebei province. But at the end of the Ming Dynasty, during Emperor Chongzhen's regime, there were many uprisings and disasters. Also, several previous emperors failed to succeed. At that time, the budget deficit was very severe. The country was broke and faced internal and external crises. Peasant uprising broke out. Meanwhile, the later Jin state, which later became the Qing dynasty, was stirring outside, ready to invade. All these reasons left Emperor Chongzhen, a good emperor by the way, no time or heart to build his tomb, and no fund for such a project. So construction on a new well-located tomb never started. This was in the final years of the Ming Dynasty, in the 17th year of Emperor Chongzhen's regime. First, there was severe drought nationwide. For days and months, no rain fell. No rain meant people couldn't survive. Crops and vegetables failed to grow. Farmers had no food. So farmers everywhere agreed to rebel. When people can't survive, they revolt. Take Li Zhicheng, famous for proclaiming himself emperor. But what was he before he rebelled? Remember the old courier stations set up by the emperor's government? They were like police stations for relaying messages. Travelers delivering messages stopped here to rest, changing horse, feeding them, and eating. This was the courier station. So Li Zhicheng was just a courier worker. Somehow he went rogue and rebelled. He was a fierce fighter, winning every battle. He conquered cities with ease. He defeated others and was skilled in war. At the same time, another strong rebel army rose, led by Zhu Xiaozong, who also rebelled. He was undefeated, a fierce warrior too. But one interesting fact is that Zhang Xiaozong and Li Zhicheng both named their regime Da Sheng, meaning great order. It's a complete coincidence. Both chose the same name independently. Such a striking coincidence. In the end, Emperor Chongzhen was heavily besieged, especially by the Manchurian, then called later Jin. The Manchu forces had breached the pass, and Li Zhicheng had already entered Beijing first. So all the gates of Beijing were broken open. How can I still fight? The officers who could fight were mostly being killed. Only a few know how to fight. So there's no way. Smoke and fires are everywhere. Honestly, the firefighting effort is too weak. Yet battle raged all over. He couldn't defeat the capital city. So when the rebels stormed Beijing, Emperor Chongzhen chose death over surrender. Sadly, he sent away his units, servants, and soldiers who served him. He gave them money, telling them to flee for their life. He killed his wife and children, and then hanged himself from a tree. That's how he died. Li Zhicheng buried Emperor Chongzhen's bones in the so-called 13th Ming tombs. That's why it became the Ming tombs. Master, didn't Liu Bowen say the dynasty would last 600.5 years? Why did the Ming dynasty fall after just 300 years? Was the prophecy wrong? I'm not sure if Liu Bowen fully understood the exact meaning behind the number. I think the God only told him 600.5. He was just a messenger. I also think he was just a messenger and didn't fully grasp the matter. Though there's a 0.1% chance Liu Bowen know the truth but dare not say it. So did the emperor enjoy hearing over 600 years? Yes, that's how it was. But in fact, it means half of 600 years. At most 300 years. Half of 600 is the meaning here. But the emperor at the time, Zhu Yuanzhang, understood it as about 650 years. This is a mathematical expression to understand. Now, as I said earlier, two rebels arose in China. One was Zhang Xiaozong, the other is Li Zhicheng. They truly believed this was a sign from heaven. They named their regime Great Sun.
Yishun, Li Zhicheng actually seized Beijing first. He took control of the cities, forcing Emperor Zhongzhen to hang himself. The Ming government then ceased to exist. Next, this again. Now about the early Qing government. Back then, it was called Later Jing. The Later Jing forces crossed the pass, entered Hebei province, and within a day or two reached Beijing. They drove out Li Zhicheng. That's how it happened. The Qing then founded the Great Qing Dynasty. The first emperor in Beijing was called Sun Zhi. Sun Zhi means obedience, smooth. Three Shuns. They ruled smoothly and comfortably. But the Ming Dynasty ended then. That's it. So, Yu to the smooth is prophetic. The prophecy is more than just interesting. It's so mysterious. This is a divine revelation. It perfectly matched the history of the Ming dynasties. Here's something even more interesting. Do you remember what I said earlier? How many emperors ruled during the Ming dynasty? There were 16 in total. Zhu Yuanzhang's childhood name was Zhu Chongba. Chongba means double 8. 2 times 8 equals 16. There were 16 emperors altogether. This represents a dynasty, the fate of rulers and of the nations, linked to their royal tombs. This destiny is absolutely aligned. So among the Ming tombs, there are actually 12 dragon's lairs inside the palms. But the last emperor Zhongzhen was buried behind a small hill outside the palms. He was no longer within the dragon lairs. So his era marked the end. Looking through histories, emperors rose and fell over generations. One emperor replaced another. Ancient Chinese called emperors sons of heavens, meaning they were children of the sky. It also implies a divine mandate. He was destined to govern this beautiful land and mountains. He was his heaven-sent fate. His palace and final resting tombs contains the essence of sun, moon, and mountains. Even billions of years of energy are gathered here. This makes their royal family's power extremely strong, especially the Ming Dynasty's palace and tombs. Their era, fate, and each emperor's deeds exactly match the dragon vein signs. Their time and destiny and each emperor's actions fully aligned with the dragon vein's patterns that perfectly corresponded. For example, a towering mountain peak corresponds to an emperor with great achievements. If the peak is smaller and the Feng Shui seems poor, then the dragon's deeds in life will be fewer and weaker, or last a shorter time. Let's start from the beginning. This is where Zhu Yuanzhang's parents were buried. Heaven chose their burial places. It was not man-made. Besides, the land wasn't theirs. This is what we call heaven's gift. Of course, death is never a happy thing, but it's a natural part of life. Everyone must die, right? Some are buried in poor feng shui spots that cause their descendants to face short lives and poverty. Buried in a powerful dragon vein, his descendants grew stronger with each generations, allowing the Ming Dynasty to last for 16 generations. But Zhou Yanzhang's own Feng Shui site was not especially good. I believe Feng Shui has its flaws, and there must be a reasons for those flaws. This is what's called destiny's wheel. So within this, you will see that the third emperor, Zhu Di, he had a remarkable master whom he wholeheartedly supported. This master was a great Yao Guangxiao. He was well versed in both Buddhism and Taoism. Though he originally a Buddhist monk, he mastered Buddhist teachings with skill. Later, he also apprenticed under a great Taoist leader, a man deeply knowledgeable in hidden mystery. He was a master of both Buddhism and Taoism, possessing dual virtues. So Yao Guangxiao chose for him Beijing, the great dragon vein of China. On the surface, it was close to the Yuan dynasty, which was very risky. But if I could intimidate the Yuan so they dare not attack, I could best manage all of China. It's quite clever, something most wouldn't think of. This shows Yao Guangxiao broad visions, viewing the world, the dragon veins, and the realms. I believe it's like looking at the test paper. He had a grand visions. So he made a quick decisions. He had discovered Zhu Yuanzhang's tombs. There was a problem here. They couldn't continue in this place, so they had to move the capital to Beijing to find the true dragon vein and manage the Ming government in the best way possible. So these actions opens the Ming's greatest visions and mindset, and its highest worldview. This is why the Ming lasted for 16 emperors. After arriving in Beijing, they planned the site for the Forbidden City, the authentic dragon vein location. They also chose the current site of the Ming tombs. This emperor's tomb is a treasure site in the mausoleums. The feng shui of the emperor's tomb symbolizes the fate of the nations and royal family. Do common ancestors' graves impact their descendants? I believe the principles is the same. Whether or not an emperor has a divine vision, or believes he does, the idea is this. Your ancestral's gravesite for ordinary people. The grave feng shui directly affects our future and the fate of the descendants and family legacy. If chosen well, it brings natural protections and blessings from heavens and earth. There is a clear link between grave feng shui and the prosperity of our family and future generations. Good selections bring protections and blessings from nature. The family will thrive. Even careers and talents will flourish. A bad choice will bring many problems, such as injuries, illness, short life, and poverty. It may even cause the family lines to end. Choosing a good feng shui tomb helps your whole family and descendants. There is always positive helps. Should we often visit during Qingming, the Ulamanam festival, the ancestors' death days? We should regularly honor them, clean their graves, and show respect. Good. That's an excellent question. It reminds us that each year, we should visit the ancestors' grave at least twice. Part of this is grave care. Graves do require maintenance. Many graves are earthen mold, which are prone to issues. For example, heavy rain last year can cause holes beneath the grave. The area under the grave can get hollow, letting water in and creating holes. Snakes and hedgehogs may move in, which is undesirable. This causes leakage of air. That's a problem. So what do? There's air leaking. It may attract evil spirits. You need to maintain and repair it. Sometimes flood occurs. The coffins can be washed out, or the coffins may rot away. Your ancestral's bone may be exposed in a while. This is very unlucky. It could cause illness in descendants, so you should fix it quickly. There are various issues like tree planted rashly, whether by ancestors or the living around the gravesite. What about resting here after you arrive? Plant trees. They represent prosperity, but planting carelessly is harmful. Roots can damage the grave itself. They may erode the tombs and coffins. This harms our ancestors. It can bind descendants negatively, causing nervous and legs problems. It's quite troublesome, so regular maintenance is needed. Besides upkeep we discussed earlier, there's honoring your ancestors. Paying respect and remembering them is very important. Though they have passed, some say they have been freed, becoming celestial beings or eternal Buddhas. Why do we still visit graves? It's about emotion. It's about gratitude for parents and grandparents' nurture. Gratitude is key to a happy, grounded life. Only grateful hearts live well. That's the truth. That's why yearly rituals and grave visits are essential parts of life. This must be done. Our friend listened carefully. Some talk of wealth and success now, while others lose jobs or families. Is this caused by Feng Shui? Usually, many events, especially major ones, are not one-sided. Fortunate people enjoy good Feng Shui. Unlucky ones turn good Feng Shui bad. So what does fortune mean? It usually means having virtues. Being moral, kind, and grateful. Only then are you truly virtuous. A virtuous person may be granted good Feng Shui by heaven. This is due to changes in nature, a mysterious change, which ordinary people cannot understand. Take this place, for example. It was once just an ordinary Feng Shui site. But in recent years, your heart and character has changed. Your virtues have improved, transforming you from an average to a kind person. As a result, the Feng Shui there has also changed. For example, in the past, I saw the Feng Shui around certain burial site. That graveyard area was once desolate and barren. Just looking at it gives a sense of utter defeat. The current leader is quite old now. So he spends his day fasting, praying, and doing good deeds. He raises children well and often accumulates merits. Once I passed by their home near the family cemetery. I felt strong, nourishing energy in that place. A small river flows around the grave, with lotus flowers blooming there. The trees beside the grave is stunning, majestic and beautiful. Their home transformed from ordinary to great Feng Shui. Their children are now very successful. His son is an IT engineer with a high income, and he respects his parents deeply. His marriage is smooth, and his wife is kind. The elderly couple is happy every day, sometimes helping care for grandchildren. They truly enjoyed a grateful, joyful family life. Their health is good. Their family income is also quite good. In the past years, her mother was diagnosed with cancer. Now, the cancer is cured. Their problems began then. At that time, her mother had cancer and the son was immature. He drank, and took drugs. Now these habits are gone. The family is very peaceful. Their Feng Shui has become very comfortable. This is a mutual and complementary state. Some ask me about the Ming Dynasty Imperial tombs. They ask about the Ming's fortune. A good tomb's Feng Shui and the blessing of 16 emperors created the Feng Shui of the 13 tombs. When heavens grant blessings, it gives them all at once. That's true. You just read it by time periods. In fact, blessings come together. But as I said before, these blessings can change over time. It means accumulating merits. Be a moral and kind person. Be broad-minded and willing to help others. Your aura will be strong and full of wealth. I hope these lessons give you some insight to improve your life. Fortunate people attract good energy, while the unfortunate seeds fade. Be kind. Honor ancestors, and heavens will bless you with good fortunes. Today, we discuss the Feng Shui concept of the Great Dragon Vein in the Ming Dynasty. Friends, if your ancestral home, tombs, or inside has any Feng Shui issues, and you want to consult me, feel free to reach out. Please provide detailed information about any current situations. Take plenty of photos or share the exact address. That way, I can give more precise advice. My suggestions are free of charge, but my time is limited. I will only accept 6 people. If you message me within 2 months, I will try to find time to review and consult you. Alright, that concludes today's content. Thank you all. See you in the next live stream.
是祭祀祖先、怀念亲人的时候。阴阳两隔，我们可以通过佛菩萨的慈悲力量，祈福供灯，为往生者积累功德，祈请佛菩萨护佑接引，使其早日脱离无明苦海，往生光明善处，佛国净土。2026年，菩提禅修学院清明祭祖功德项目超荐灯。从1美元起，为往生的祖先、亲人、朋友或宠物，在佛前供一盏超荐灯，能令往生者得到佛菩萨的护佑与接引，离苦得乐。为历代祖先供灯，令祖先得佛菩萨护佑接引，也让后代子孙安居乐业，幸福长寿。为累世父母供灯，是报答父母深恩最好的方式，也使我们更加吉祥如意。为冤亲债主供灯，表达真诚忏悔，唯有冤亲债主得到解脱，我们才能消灾灭难，平安吉祥。为婴灵供灯，祈请佛菩萨护佑接引，使他们脱离苦海，早日转世，也令父母消灾灭难，身心安泰。祭祀套装，依止佛菩萨的微微功德，此份祭祀品可真实传递给亡灵，令其功德财富增长，早日获得圆满解脱。银宝山祭祀套装，28美元。银宝山一座，银条10个，冥币5沓，莲花2朵，银元宝36个，地藏经、心经各1部。金宝山祭祀套装，38美元。金宝山一座，金条10个，冥币5沓，莲花2朵，金元宝36个，地藏经、心经各1部。金银宝山祭祀套装，58美元。 金银宝山各1座，金银条各10个，冥币10打，莲花4朵，金银元宝各36个，地藏经、心经各2部。堆积成山的金银财宝，象征财富圆满。清净莲花寓意慈悲接引。佛典经书令亡灵福慧增长，速得解脱。凡选购祭祀套装者，欢迎按需搭配寒衣套装或别墅套装，让这份心意更加圆满。寒衣套装2美元每份。寒衣与生活用品，令亡灵衣食丰足，免受寒苦。别墅套装6美元每份。4合院别墅与汽车，令亡灵安居自在，尽享安乐。所有祭祀套装将供奉于佛前，并于2026年清明节统一焚化。清明祭祖活动报名开放至2026年4月5日，请前往 www.puticollege.com 了解更多。
让我与您相遇，小小的红点里，人生就此欢喜。我快乐了，我健康了，我幸福了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与您相遇。小小的红点里，人生变得神奇。我智慧了，我宽容了，我慈悲了，我自在了。